Right. Okay. All right. As you guys can see here, we have our mayo. We're gonna take that. I'm gonna put it in the fridge and let it cool while we continue to work. All right. So moving along. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up an onion. And we're gonna give these a bit of a char if we can. Kind of hard to achieve that on a stove top when you're not using a grill, but we're gonna do the best that we can. Once again, thank you for those of you that have tuned in. This is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. Okay. Got some onions here all chopped up, ready to go. Have our pan heating up. We're gonna take some butter. We're gonna throw it in the microwave for about 20 seconds or so, just to soften it up. We don't want it to melt. We're gonna use that butter to put together our grilled cheeses. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay, get a knife. Now I'm sure everybody that's in here loves them a good grilled cheese, myself included, even though I can't eat it. All right. I love cheese. I love dairy, but dairy does not, and when I say it does not like me, okay? Even when I use milk that's dairy-free, doesn't do anything. You guys are silly. You guys are silly. All right. So now, when I do my grilled cheeses, I like to put butter on both sides of the bread, okay? And when I say both sides, I mean both sides. So each slice of bread gets butter. And don't be afraid to lather it on. Thank you for those of you that are here with us. This is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We covered the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics matchup, and Kyrie and his issues with the refs and the fans, excuse me. Talked about how he got fined $50,000 and, you know, it's like nothing to him. Wish I could say that maybe one day. So the reason why I'm going to add the butter to both sides is that while I'm not toasting both sides, the butter that goes on with the cheese is going to help that cheese to melt. Okay, our pan is ready here. Okay, now remember when I said you guys want to soften the butter and not melt it. See, I had this on for too long and it's melted now, so it's a little bit harder to work with. Can still use it. It's got to be a little more careful, that's all. Like I said, we're just going to try to get a little char on these onions here. Actually, got one side here. We got our other side we're working on. After we add our butter, of course, the next ingredient is going to be cheese. Now, if you want a really good grilled cheese, I promise you, one slice of cheese is not going to be enough. Minimum, you want to add 2. Now, I will say, those of us that aren't, keen to eating dairy as much, you can use, vegan cheese. Although I will say it doesn't melt as well. So there's that. If you want to try to get your cheese to melt before your bread burns, you can do that. But I would advise against it. So it's either you don't have the grilled cheese or you suck it up like I would and eat a lactate pill or 2 or 8. Definitely going to need a couple tonight. That's for sure. Once again, this is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We are in the process of making our heart attack burger. Currently have some onions on the stove and we are prepping our grilled cheese sandwiches that we're going to be using as buns. Okay, almost done here. I appreciate all of you guys taking the time out of your day to join us. Hope that you guys enjoy what you guys see. If you're new here, please be sure to hit that star at the top. And come on back. As we do this each week, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, our onions are almost ready. Now that we have our bread all buttered up, next thing we're going to do is going to add our cheese. Now, like I said, you don't want to add just one. You're not going to get the desired effect that you're looking for. So we're going to add, we're going to be adventurous. We're going to add 3. Why 3? Why not, right? You only live once. Okay. I'll put our onions to the side. right. Next thing up is we're gonna take out our meat. We're gonna season that up. For anyone that's just joining us, this is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. I'm your host, the Bearded One, and we are in the process of making a heart attack burger. We've already made a Chipotle bacon mayo. We just filled up some onions. And now we're going to get ready to season up some ground beef. Now, in terms of ground beef, you have options. Most people typically will go with an 80-20 blend. I like mine a little greasier, so I went with a 73-27, but the choice is totally up to you. Now, you can season your burger however you like. Some people like to keep it simple, and they like to just add a little salt and pepper. Second here. All right. So we're gonna add some salt, some pepper, of course. A little bit of seasoned salt. For anyone that's just joining us, this is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We are making heart attack burgers. That's onion powder. And we're going to throw in some garlic. You want to mix it good now. Make sure all your seasonings get nice and incorporated. Some people like to wear gloves when they mix their meat. Personally, I feel like you should get right up in there. And no better way to clean. To mix it than just get down and dirty. Just make sure you give your hands a good wash afterwards. Last thing you want to do is spread salmonella. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get our pan on. Let's see if I can bring you guys down this way. pan heat up. Now you want to have your pan set to medium high. You don't want to turn your pan up too high. Now the only reason for that is while some might say turning the pan on high might, allow your meat to cook faster, you actually run a higher risk of burning it because of the heat being on so high. So your safest bet is always to keep it on medium high, just to make sure that everything is cooking properly. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and form your patty. You want to give it a nice round shape. Try to keep it as even as possible. Again, just to ensure that it cooks evenly. You could use an egg. An egg would help to keep it, together. It all depends on your personal preference. Like if I were making a meatball, I would use an egg. Thank you, Finesse. That is correct. Yes, you want to put a nice little divot in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see that there. And yes, Precious correct. There is going to be an egg on the burger. So, EB, we're going to get that either way. You don't use the egg unless it's meatloaf. Okay, that's, again, another. Everyone has their personal preferences. Again, you want to go around. Just make sure. Get a nice little divot in the middle here. For anyone that's just joining us, this is Savor the Game with a Bearded One. We are about to put the burger in our heart attack burger on the stove to cook. I'm sure you guys can see my pan is nice and hot. I'll wash my hands real quick. Once again. Turn it down just a little bit. Okay, give me a second here. All right, guys, here we go. You guys can hear that sizzle. That's essentially what you want when it first hits that pan. You get a sizzle, you know your pan is nice and hot. We're going to throw a little extra salt on the top. Yes, sir. That is correct. You don't want to over season, again, because we have so much going on in the dish as it is. We got our burgers on the grill. Now, again, understand that because I'm using a 73-27 as opposed to an 80-20 mix, this is going to be a little greasier than what some people may be accustomed to, but that's okay. You only live once. A little grease is not going to kill you. All right, so at this time, I'm going to ask my good friend, Finesse God, to send a request to the gift box. To the guest box. Excuse me. We're going to have a short little chat with him about some of his favorite sports and favorite foods. So whenever you are ready, Finesse, go on over and send a request. For anyone that's just joining us, this is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We are in the process of making a heart attack burger. We have our onions already cooked. Our meat is on the stove. We have our grilled cheeses ready to go.
All right, I can hear. Yay.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, my uncle. You're trying to kill somebody with this burger here.
No, not at all.
Those ain't ready to be flipped yet.
No, not at all.
You flipping them a little bit too early there.
Say again?
You flipping them a little bit too early there.
You think so? We'll see. We'll see, sir. Anyhow, how's your day been going, sir?
My day was good, uncle. How are you doing?
My day's been pretty good. I'm looking forward to today.
I'm not, because this burger looking like it's about to hurt me.
Oh, believe me, sir, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you, okay? Anyone that knows me knows I am lactose intolerant like crazy, all right? So we got grilled cheese, and we got Parmesan cheese in the mayo, and believe me, sir, it's not going to be fun, okay? But I am going to enjoy eating it. I tell you that.
Did you see my question? Are you putting more cheese on the burger?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. I can't help that. My heart too big for that. I can't do that. Unless I have a heart attack. I can't. I really have a heart attack. My doctor say stay away from double burgers with extra cheese.
So I was actually going to take this recipe and turn it into a stuffed burger, but I said, I think that's a little too much.
Too much.
So we left it at that. We're going to do that another day.
That's 15-year-old finesse. I'm too old for that.
We'll do that one another day.
We don't want to do that, dude. You just skip over that whole recipe and go to something else.
Okay, sir. So my first question to you. Do you have any favorite sports that you like to watch?
Basketball, football, anything but baseball. I watch golf even with somebody I like playing.
But the main three are basketball, football, baseball.
No baseball.
I said no baseball. So basketball, football, that's it. Mm-hmm. And maybe a little bit of golf, and that's all.
And some boxing, some MMA. I'm all over the place. If it's sports, I'm watching it basically. But baseball, I've tried to watch a full game of 9 innings of baseball, and I just cry every time because it just takes so long for the excitement. Everything except baseball. Golf is even more entertaining than baseball. I'm trying to tell y'all. Sit and watch a whole 18 holes of golf. You be like, dang, this is
So
quiet.
you're telling me you can actually sit down and watch a whole 18 holes of golf?
Yes, I watched the whole 18 holes of golf with Tiger, and I was like, bro, this is probably one of the surrealest things that I've ever been like a
The
part.
most that I can say I watched is I think when he won the Masters back in 2019, I watched the last 9 holes because it was like, wait, he's like on the precipice of actually accomplishing something. So I'll sit back and watch. Otherwise,
The first nine, the first 9. So I would say, you know how a football game start off, whoever bring the energy first basically wins the game. That's how golf is almost, but it's quiet energy. So like your first 9 holes basically predicts how you're gonna play the rest of the game almost. And that's how I see it almost. So like when I watch golf, I definitely watch it like that. But if Tiger ain't playing, I don't want to watch it. And you gotta be up early to get Tiger.
And honestly, a lot of people feel the same way.
Like if Tiger ain't playing, I don't want to watch.
That last tournament that he played in, ratings were up for the first time in months.
Yes, but like if young Tiger come up, his son, oh, I definitely probably give him a watch too. Yeah. Tiger Jr. I think his name might be Cub Jr. Cub Woods. He ain't Tiger yet. Oh, the burger's looking lovely, you guys.
Okay.
Don't press too hard. You let the fat out.
All right, sir. So my next question to you: did you play any sports while you were growing up, or?
Of course, I'm an athlete.
All right.
3-star.
3-star. What sports did you play?
Just basketball. I gave football a stint in 11th grade, but it just messed up my ratings for basketball. So I should have just stayed with basketball in 11th grade. But most of the time, I played basketball from about 8th grade all the way to 12th grade. And I'm going to say a little bit after 12th grade, I was still playing. Yeah.
Were you successful with your basketball career? Did you win any titles, county titles?
I left high school with a championship. That was a goal of mine, and I definitely completed that. So there's not a lot of people in my city that can say they actually left high school with a championship. And a couple of my friends I know personally, like, man, I wanted that championship that year. That was my year to win. But I fought my 4 years of every year trying to win a championship, and I never got it. In my last year, I really got it. That was the best thing. Funny story. The championship jacket I had that you give out, the varsity jacket.
Okay.
They didn't give those to us just to have. Just to say, hey, yeah, you got a varsity jacket, you're part of the team. You only got it when you won a championship.
Really?
Yep. So I won the championship of May of 2011. I didn't get my jacket into May of 2012. Right? I've already graduated high school and everything.
Wow.
Right?
They made you
wear that jacket. Get my jacket. I wear it in blazing heat of May.
But I'm sure you put that thing on the first day you got it, though.
Soon as I got that thing, I took everything off, threw it on, right? I get to wear it that one time. I had a little sweetheart. I was really liking her. I give her the jacket in 2012.
Okay.
What year is it?
We're in 2022 now?
I haven't seen my jacket in 10 years.
Wait, excuse me?
I haven't received it back.
You haven't seen it since?
Since.
Have you seen her since then?
Yes. And she doesn't recall where she put the jacket.
Wow.
I just want my jacket.
Did she ever offer to maybe even like get you one made? Because you can do that now.
Yeah, you definitely can, but no.
Did you have to pay for the jacket at all?
No.
Okay, so it was given. So it was gifted to you by the district.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to pay for it, but I earned it. That's the simple fact. Like
I
like
thought you were.
every year that other teams won it, and I would go to their school and they come to their games in the wintertime, they have their jackets on, they got their logo, they got their names on, they got their achievements on their sleeves and stuff like that. I worked 4 years hard trying to get one of them jackets, and I thought I was giving it to the right person, and I should have kept my goddamn jacket. I'm crushed. Don't be a student athlete, you guys.
All right, so we took our burgers off here. Gonna let them rest. We got some bacon on the side. We're gonna throw on the burger
You
itself.
don't cut your bacon, sir?
We'll cut it when the time is right, sir.
Okay.
Don't worry.
No
I
problem.
promise you.
You know, at the Super Bowl party, people usually come in the kitchen. Hey, what you cooking up in there? You gonna cut your bacon? It's a Super Bowl party. This is how the party go. You know, you walk in the kitchen trying to see what's going on, fresh. You ain't about to just eat anything. Try to make sure roaches ain't crawling on the counter.
Nah, I don't mind him. For anyone that is just joining us, this is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We have our friend Finesse God in the box, and we're just having a quick little chat about some of his favorite sports and maybe some of his favorite foods. Exactly, EB. I won't have to do much. It literally will just... Continuing along. Next question for you. What are your favorite sports teams, if you have any?
I don't have a favorite NBA team because Melo doesn't have a home. He's just playing with the Lakers right now. So
Okay.
I love Melo, Carmelo Anthony, not LaMelo Ball. That's my favorite player. So Jordan. If I can dream, if I can be like anybody, I can be like Mike. That's another person. But
I agree. I'm with you 100% on that one. Growing up, I would say, I guess I was a Jordan fan, more so than a Michael Bull, like a Bulls fan.
I'm a Bull. Man, if I'm in the 90s right now, I'm a Bulls fan. I ain't even gonna.
No, but again, the second that Michael retired, it was like, okay, I'm not watching the Bulls anymore.
Football wise, I'm a Commanders fan, the Washington Commanders, aka the Redskins. We're going through a transition.
Okay, can I ask you a question? As a matter of fact, how do you feel about the recent name change? Does it bother you at all? Do you miss the Redskin name? Do you like the Commanders name? Do you wish they would go back to the football team?
I'd rather them be Washington football team than this one. I be telling people, yeah, I'm a Redskins fan. They be like, what? What is the Redskins? You mean the Commanders? That's what you are now. I just gotta put my head down and shave until we make a name for ourselves, because ain't nobody. Yeah, like we a new team or something like we just came down. We been here since the beginning, and they act like we just got dug up out the ground, like we was a arena football team before or something. That's how I feel, That's how I feel. If you want to be totally honest, I feel as though we ain't even in the NFL no more. We play Pee Wee football with that name. It's not a name that I be like, yeah, we going to play the Commanders this week. Mm-hmm. Scared? Nah, you ain't scared of no Commanders.
I get that. I mean, that you would have picked instead of the Commanders if you had your choice.
Anything. They could have picked anything. Let me see if I can give my team a name and still being in the good sense of not cursing or anything. The Washington can't be the Capitals. Can't be the Capitals. Can't be the Wizards.
Nope.
Can't be the DC United. Can't do that. Can't be the what the heck is the baseball team? The Nationals. They took that name. That was a good name right there. The Washington Nationals. They should just change the baseball team to the Washington Nets, and then change the football team to the Washington Nationals. That's what they should have did. There you go. That's the name right there. That'd have been better.
Okay, that's a thought.
Because they don't never say their whole name all the way together. They could have been the Nets.
That's true. All right.
Or the Caps, the Washington Caps. You don't have to use the whole the whole name.
Got the Capitol, so maybe they didn't want to, you know.
But either way, it's all in Washington, man. It's a lot of teams. It's a lot of places like that that have closest names. It's like the owners own them. The LA Clippers, the LA Lakers. Like, how you think he came up with the Clippers? Like, hold on. We need something that's familiar to the Lakers. They're playing in the same arena. We don't need to change up a lot. He could have named it something totally different. He could have named it the Oakland Clippers or something like that. The Long Beach Clippers. There's a lot of places like that that got close names and close teams. Clippers and Lakers sound real close to me.
That's true. You know, one day I'm gonna have to look up what, you know, where the origination of the Clippers came from and see if we can figure it out exactly. If it's a random name or if it actually has some kind of actual meaning to it.
They've been in. It was the Clippers got moved from. Clippers was a team before they was the Clippers because he brought them out and they moved. It was a weird city. It was a weird city they was in. Okay, grilled cheese going in, y'all. Let's go. Let's see. I like mine medium toasted. I think they should choose it because all the big military plans the DC area and the president is planning to achieve. It doesn't sit with us though. Like DC as a whole, we know the president down there, but DC residents don't go down there and be like, yeah, let me go look at the president. Like, we don't do that because we know what's down there. It's a bunch of tourists coming from about other states. That doesn't represent DC. Like downtown, that's a whole, like downtown where the president at, that's a whole nother section. That's like almost an island almost. All that stuff down there is separated from what's really going on in the streets of DC. So when I think of the president stuff, I don't think about DC. Yeah, he here, but he can be anywhere. He can be in Philly, New York, Cali. The place that he's supposed to stay at is here. No, they don't all come from DC. How many commanders are based in? How many military bases are in DC besides one? And they don't send them all there. A lot of people that come into these military bases, I'm talking about name, but it's not a lot of commanders in DC though.
I see what he's saying. I can see where he's, you know, where he would come up with the, you know, again, it's a thought. No one really knows.
They have all them meetings and stuff like once in a while when big shit going on, but them niggas don't stay in DC. I'm trying to tell you, they go back to wherever the fuck they're based at or wherever they live at. They don't live in DC.
For those of you that are joining us, thank you. This is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We are currently discussing sports with our friend Finesse the God. As you were saying, sir?
I forgot my statement at this current moment.
I apologize. I just wanted to remind you that, you know, this is
Savor the Game with the Bearded One.
I
apologize. I apologize, my featured friend. It won't happen.
No need to apologize. We are all human. We all make mistakes. That's why I'm here to help out. Okay.
I totally forgot POF. Friend.
No, it is okay, friend. Don't worry. Again, we all do it. I catch myself a lot, believe it or not.
I have to catch myself. I apologize. But I'm just saying, I don't feel as though a lot of them live in actual DC. They come and visit and they say they're here, but they're not really here, bro. Like, I've been here all my life. I've never actually said, like, yeah, you might not know who is who, but I've never actually ran into somebody to say, yeah, I'm in the military and I'm a commander. I've been in the military all my life. Like, I know they probably won't disclose that information with me, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in they stuff. If they're a commander, they got to walk around their gear. Like, you going to know. I ain't seen a lot of commanders just dozily down Georgetown. And I done worked in the richest of the richest parts of the city. So
I hear you.
But for sure their kids are here though. You can definitely say that. They drop their kids off to good schools out here. But I feel as though DC could have came up with a whole nother. It's not about their rank.
It's okay, Finesse. It's okay. We all have our
We're gonna talk later, my friend.
For anyone that is just joining us, we appreciate you joining in with us. This is Savor the Game with the Bearded One. We are currently in the process of making our buns for our heart attack burger, and we are just having a quick little chat with our friend Finesse in regards to some of his favorite sports teams and potentially some of his favorite foods as well. All right, so you said that you were a Carmelo fan, so you don't have a basketball team, but you're a Commanders fan. Now, is there any particular reason why you picked that team? Is it solely because you're from DC? Is there anything else about the team that
you go hard for your home team? This is my home team. I love my Skins.
So personally, I am not a homer. Okay, I only root for one team from New York. Okay, one, and it's one of the worst teams we have. But I'm okay with that.
Just like you had hope in the Mets, I have hope in the Skins to one day turn that corner and win a championship after like 70-something years. Ooh, that's my favorite type of. Y'all see that? That's my favorite type of crust. That up there, that's the crust.
Now, what I will tell you about the Mets compared to the Commanders is the Mets were in the World Series in 2015. We didn't win it, but we were there. So I think we're a little bit closer than you guys are.
Wow.
What do I know?
It's the football talk for me. What the Steelers gonna do?
You know, my friend,
I ain't got no quarterback no more. God, sorry to say.
No, you're right. We don't. I'm actually really nervous about that. I don't know what we're gonna do. I have no idea. But we're gonna figure it out because we are the Steelers and we always figure it out. Okay.
Are y'all gonna bring Big Ben back out of retirement?
Nah, he's over. That arm is a noodle now. It's a wrap. It's done.
It's a noodle?
It's a noodle. It's over.
Limp noodle?
The man couldn't throw anymore. It's okay. Listen, he gave me, 19 years of amazing play. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Could never thank him enough.
Anybody else have any other?
2 chips. Almost won another one.
I want to ask a question.
Sure.
Who do you guys feel is going to win the NBA title this year? That's what I'm concerned about at this current moment in my life.
So the NBA title, what I would tell you is I think that.
You know what? I got a better question. Who's coming out the East and who's coming out the West? That's a better question. My bad. Now, who's going to win the title?
So as things are presently constructed with injuries and the way they are, I say it's Boston out of the East, and I would say Golden State out of the West. All right, we got our grilled cheeses coming up.
Me out. That's the same thing. Look, so that's what I did like this.
Boston? All right, so Michael, what is his name? He's the second best player on the Bucks. The bald one. Can't remember his name.
Chris Middleton?
Middleton. Okay, there we go. He just got hurt last night in the game, and they actually lost to Chicago. So if Middleton's going to be out an extended period of time, I think that lessens what Milwaukee's capable of doing, and that puts it solely on Giannis to carry the load. Not saying that he can't do it, but it's the playoffs now, and it gets a little dicier because now I could literally set my team up, especially if it's just Giannis. I could set it up so that I could literally set up a wall for him where he can't drive to the basket. Just like what the Celtics are doing to Kevin Durant right now. If you watch that game and you watch how literally everywhere Kevin Durant goes, there are 5 sets of eyes looking at him, ready to pounce on him wherever he goes. He's getting touched. If he comes off a screen, someone's bumping him, someone's grabbing the jersey. They're doing whatever they can to disrupt him, okay? Right, we got our grilled cheese. I don't know if you guys can see that cheese is melting off on the side here. Gonna